All right, here with another Squarespace tutorial for you. Today, we're going to be talking about how to add a drop-down folder to your navigation, your header navigation, because sometimes you have so much that you want to put up there in the header that it can clutter it up. You can get so much up there that it starts to go into a second line, which looks awful. And so you want to clean that up and maybe put some of the links that you have that are similar to each other and underneath one navigation drop down menu. So we're going to do that. And then the menu that Squarespace has natively just doesn't look very good. So we're also going to talk about how to style that up a little bit. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to want to do is get the drop down menu added. And we're going to do that up here in the main navigation. So we're going to hit the plus button here beside main navigation. Then you got all these options here, and you're going to scroll all the way to the bottom. And second from the bottom here, you're going to have the drop down menu. And then I want you to title it. And so we're just going to call this one About. It's a folder where we have pages that are all about our website or our company that we're making the website for, company or organization. And so now you have an About folder there. Now it's empty, so when you hover over it, there's nothing to be there. So we'll take these pages that I've made already that are for this About menu, our story, meet the team, and FAQs, and put it in there. And then now you see the drop down menu. And it's like I said, it's not very aesthetically pleasing and just a block square. So to style this up, we're going to have to go over into our CSS. And to do that, you're going to go now. I have a plugin. You probably saw this. I have a plugin added to my, sorry, not plugin, an extension added to Chrome that allows this to be real easy. I can just click on that. But where you will find it is down in Website Tools and then Custom CSS. And so I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of my CSS that's already in there. And I am going to hit enter a couple times. And then I want to label this. And so I'm going to go / asterisk space. And I'm going to say a header navigation. I'm going to add a few more spaces there so you can see what I'm typing to bring this to the top. Okay, now you can see. All right, so navigation, drop down menu, and then space, and then give another asterisk, and then / again, and then come down another couple lines, and then now we're going to tell it what we're trying to target. So we're going to go dot header nav dash folder, and then content folder space, and then we're going to go curly brackets enter. And so the first thing we want to talk about is the border. There's no border. You see, it's just a block. There's no border there. So we're going to go border, and then we're going to make it give it a border of, probably going to want it to be thin. You don't want to do real thick. So we're going to go 1px, and we want it to be solid. And then we got to tell it what color we want it to be. So we're going to use a hex code to put that in. So we're going to go the # or hashtag, depending on what generation you're from, and then 333. Let's see what it's looking like. All right, so we got a little bit of a border there. Okay, and we want to make sure that this takes effect. So and it's not, just in case you have any other CSS or anything in there that would be cause this to not take effect. So we're going to go exclamation point important, and then semicolon enter. And then now we want to give it so it's just a block right now. It's just squared off. We want to round those corners off. And so we're going to go border dash radius. And we want to give a border of about 20px. And then again, we want to make that important to override any other code that might be in there. So you're going to go exclamation point important semicolon and hit enter again. See what it looks like. All right. So you see it's rounded off now. The next thing we can do to give it a little bit of depth is to give it a shadow. And so we'll go box dash shadow, and we want to go probably, we have to give two different. So the box shadow is going to be, we can make it be just below, just to the right. And so the first one, so we'll go, let's go 3px, and you'll see, let's go a little bit more so that we can see it better. So let's go 6px. And okay, we're not seeing it yet because we don't have a color on it. So let's take that back to 3px and then 3px. And then give it a color to match the border. So we're going to go hashtag or pound 333 again. And then again, we got to make that important. So important semicolon. And you can see now that's kind of light for this. So we might want to change that hex code to the hex code for solid black, or just a dark black is all zeros. So we'll do that on both to make sure that they match for the border and the box shadow. All right, that's a little bit darker. You can see it better. And you can see these two numbers. So like if I was to change the first one to, let's say, 10, you can see it's left and right first, and then the second number is top and bottom. So it's a positive. It's like an XY axis. So the first value is for the left and right, and it's gonna, the positive is to the right, and for the second number, positive is to the bottom. So if I was to put a negative on that, you can see it's going to go the other direction. So, and then the same thing with this 3 right here. Let's say we make it 10 as well. And you can see it sticks out a little bit further. And so we could go negative on the front of each of those, and you're going to see it goes the other direction. So just wanted to show you that so that you could see how those values worked. I'll change it, both numbers back to 3, and then you can see that there. Okay. The next thing is, if you wanted the background to be a different color, you could change. Now with the blue text here, it's probably not going to look very good. So, but just for demonstration purposes, I'll show you real quick. So let's go background, and then the color that we're going to make it. So put the hex code there, so the pound. And let's say we're going to go just, let's enter a random one here, 777, and see what that is. Okay, it's not overriding it yet, so let's add that important to it and see what we, okay, that's like a gray. And so you can make it be, let's make it be white again. So we could either take this off completely and just delete it, or we can add the color that we want it to be there. And so it's white again. And then the last thing you'd want to do, like, is if you don't want this to be, if you think that's pushed over too far and you want to give it some padding, or if you want some space around it, you can add padding to this. And so you would drop down again, and you can type padding, and let's go 5px. And then again, you're going to want to give it that exclamation point important to override. Right, and so you see, like, it actually took some away. It had more padding built into it with the code that's already in there than that. So let's make that 15. Let's see what happens. So you see, you get a little more space there, and we could make it, let's go up to 35 so you can see. It gives it tons of padding there. That's probably way too much. So we'll go back to, let's make this 10 and see what happens. All right, that looks pretty good right there. So that's all there is to it. I will put the CSS code, this code that you have here, down in the description below so that you can copy it for your website. If you found this useful, please leave a like and subscribe if you want more videos like this one. And if you want me to build your Squarespace website for you, you can find my information in the description below.